Hey, everybody, I'm Michael Ogden at CU Times, and this is Pro Pulse, your weekly check in with the CU Times newsroom, what we published, what we're working on, some of the things we are thinking about. This week, we are spending a lot of time thinking about Washington, D.C., in spite of the fact that Congress is out for basically the month until after Labor Day. But anyway, I'm going to share my screen as I tend to do on these check-ins with you all. Let's go over here. All right, here we go. By the way, I am shocked that August is almost over. Okay, anyway, let's go into the Pro News tab here. And this is what I wanted to point out. So over the weekend, I did a little digging into the agency's NCUA's leadership roster, and one number really stuck out to me, and that is half. Nine of the 18 officials currently listed, and they're all down here somewhere in this crowd shot. Um, Nine of the 18 officials listed currently on the NCUA's leadership page are serving in at least one acting capacity, and some are wearing several hats at once. And this is a weird trend we've been following. For example, Matthew, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing your last name right, Matthew, and I apologize, but Biliorius, forgive me. He is director of the Office of Consumer Financial Protection, but now he is acting president of the Central Liquidity Facility and acting director of the Office of Credit Union Resources and Expansion. All of this comes, as the NCUA has reduced its workforce by 23% last year. It's going to continue to go through a major reorganization that isn't expected to be done until sometime like by the end of 2027. Now, there's another interesting part of this. Politico also reported this yesterday that we've been talking to people about, but John Cruz has been confirmed by the Senate, but is not hasn't been sworn into the NCUA yet. So when he arrives, one of his first challenges is going to be figuring out what this leadership team ultimately looks like and how many of these temporary assignments will become permanent. You know, what a weird time. No chairman, no board. Congress is on vacation. What is happening? Okay, we're going to be watching that, of course. Meanwhile, Jim Duplessis has another really great story out of Washington. A story you all have been very interested in, the industry has been, and he has been following very closely. It's about the CDFI funds. Now, two California nonprofits have sued the Trump administration, alleging it illegally blocked $289 million in CDFI funding that Congress appropriated in 2025. So they actually approved it 2 years ago to go into effect last year. But there's a clock ticking here because according to the lawsuits, those funds expire and could expire at the end of September if they aren't obligated. Now, the groups are asking the federal court to force the administration to please release the money and move forward with the next funding round. CDFIs, and we're going to be digging into this, they're so important to the credit union industry. And cutting off this funding, like what happened with USAID, is really tragic. And it's a story we've been following for some time. This administration has sought to eliminate CDFI funding. Congress has continued to fund it, but the money has just been sitting there. So Jim will be watching what happens next. Lastly, I wanted to show one thing here. What we've been working on, a bunch of podcasts and webcasts and Luminaries Awards. But speaking of podcasts, did you know as a pro member, you get an early look / listen to our podcast episodes a week before we release it to the public? I just wanted to point that out. Some people aren't aware of that. But we do give our pro members an early listen. So every 2 weeks, you're going to get an alert that there's a new episode out just for you all to hear. So that's what happens when you're a pro member. Okay, so keep an eye out on those emails. I send them out personally to you all as an early look at those podcast episodes. Will we do video? I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Okay. As always, I'm so thankful for you all. You are just a bunch of very lovely, smart, and thoughtful people. And I appreciate your support for CU Times and our wonderful team around the country that keep digging into stories like I was just pointing out here. Okay, got to get going. I have a lot of luminaries work to do. That's due by the end of the month, and I'm very excited to reveal all the stuff happening there. Right now, I want to say thanks for watching. I will see you next week. And until then, take care of each other.